Hey Hartfield family, welcome to Virtual Awakening Week 2 as we try to stay connected in the midst of social distancing and everything that's going on right now. I hope you had a great time celebrating Easter with your family this past weekend. I know it was different than in years past, but isn't it encouraging to know that the God who we just celebrated this weekend, who conquered sin and death, is the same God that's in control today? He's the same God that will conquer this virus and the situation we find ourselves in now. That brings me peace and comfort. And I pray that that truth will bring you freedom as well. Freedom from fear, freedom from worry, and give you the freedom to worship the one true eternal God. Join us now as we hear from another one of our seniors, and we have a special song written by one of our very own.
So Dancing on the Waves is a song by a group called We the Kingdom, which we both really love and enjoy. And this song is actually written from the perspective of God, which is really interesting. And it says in the bridge, He set every star into place so we would remember who He is. And it's so important during this time just to keep your focus on Him and not on what's going on around you. It's so easy to panic. But when you remember who God is and what He created you for, and you remember that He is constantly chasing you down, it's easy to relax and feel His peace and His presence in this time of uncertainty and unknowns.
I'm standing at your door. My heart is calling yours. Come fall into my arms. You're weary from the long, been running for too long. I'm here to bring you home. I'm reaching out. I'll chase you down. I dare you to believe how much I love you now. Don't be afraid. I am your strength. We'll be walking on the water, dancing on the waves. Look up and lift your eyes. The future's open wide. I have great plans for you. Oh yes I do. Your past is dead and gone. Your healing has begun. I'm making all things new. Oh, I'm reaching out. I'll chase you down. I dare you to believe how much I love you now. Don't be afraid. I
Ty, thank you so much for being here to share your thoughts on this time away from everybody.
Of course.
Yeah, I appreciate you being here. So just a couple of questions to get us started here. We've had to be, stay at home and be quarantined. And so if you had to be quarantined with one person, you could only be quarantined with one person, who would it be and why?
Probably my brother, because he just kind of sits in his room all day and then lets me kind of do whatever.
Okay. All right. Would you guys have to fight over food or anything like that?
No. Yeah. I know my role. I'll let him have what he wants, and he won't have to beat me.
There you go. All right. Well, it's good to know your place. Yeah. That's awesome. What would you say has been the best thing about being forced to stay home?
Probably the fact that I don't mind coming to school, but sometimes I don't want to because I'm not having a good day, and I just rather stay home and now have that opportunity to.
What would you say is the worst thing about being forced to stay home?
Exercising. I try to push myself to exercise a lot more because I'm not here.
Do you have a funny exercise story you'd like to share with us?
Well, I went bike riding with a few friends, and the first 15 minutes in, I threw up everywhere because I was really out of shape.
We get out of shape quickly, don't we?
Yes, we did.
Well, which teacher would you say that you miss the most?
Miss Lee, for sure. She always brightens my day after lunch.
Awesome. Well, good. What do you miss most about not being at school?
Probably just being able to see my friends, because I have all my classes with a lot of my good friends, and just seeing them every day was pretty good.
Awesome.
But now I don't see anybody.
Yeah, that's makes it a little more difficult. How have you handled being separated from your friends?
It's not too bad. I still play Xbox with a few of them at night.
Go.
That's probably why I'm tired all the time and don't make it to all my online classes early in the morning.
All right, confession time. That's good for the soul. Well, let's shift gears a little bit. Talk about your time. You recently went to the Dominican with the seniors, and talk a little bit about your time where you were there. How would you describe your time that you spent at the Dominican?
It was really eye-opening, just being able to see all the kids and how happy they were, even though they were probably the least fortunate people I've ever seen in my life, and they had so much joy.
Yeah.
It was real affectionate towards us, just showing love. Because we tried to care for them, but they would always just love on all of us when we were there.
Awesome. How would you say that's kind of changed your perspective a little bit?
It's helped me just try and be thankful for a lot more that I have. Yeah. I mean, even just a school like this, their school is a shed out in their backyard, and it's just crazy to see the differences.
Awesome. Well, good. Sometimes getting a little bit different perspective is very helpful for us, isn't it? Awesome. Well, during this time, all the craziness that's going on right now, has it made it easier or harder for you to connect with God?
I'd say easier because I'm not bombarded with all the schoolwork and stuff, because online is not as hard as being in here for 48 minutes every class period.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot more time to just spend in the Word and just talk with God throughout my day.
Awesome. Well, good. Last question for you. What would you say to encourage your fellow classmates and friends during this time?
Stay at home and wash your hands so we can go back to normal lives.
One more. I said that was the last one, but I changed my mind.
Okay.
One more. What's the first thing, if we get to come back to school, what's the first thing you're going to do?
Probably going to go give Miss Lee a hug.
That's a great one. Well, Ty, thank you so much for coming and doing this interview. I know that your fellow students will be glad to hear from you, and we really appreciate it.
Hey, Hartfield. We're kind of recording this after the fact, obviously, but I was just kind of going to make a video to introduce my song that none of y'all will have heard before, but it's a song called Loved, and I wrote it a couple weeks, maybe a week after we got back from the Dominican Republic. The first night of worship that we had at the Dominican, what inspired me was essentially we were just worshiping just for a couple of hours. The Spirit was leading, and a melody just kind of popped into my head, and I kind of just sang words. It wasn't really, it was just more spontaneous, but it just that stuck with me. Essentially, it was just the chorus of the song now, but it's just basically just saying how no matter what you do, no matter what mistakes you make, that the Lord loves you, and there's nothing you can do to take that away. And so, but anyway, I just had that song, basically the chorus part, and I just couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, well, I got to write. So I told Eli Ingram, my friend, about it, and he was like, just write the song, just like start writing and see where it takes you, see what you want to do. And just through prayer and just a lot of thought and writing and rewriting, I've ended up making a song, essentially about a story about a guy and a girl. The first verse is about the guy, and the second verse is about the girl, and both of them are just broken individuals, and they need healing, and they need a purpose. They need someone to come in and say, hey, it's okay, you're loved. And then in the third verse it says that Christ died for us and what he did for us, and the power that we are given through that. So just as you listen to the song, it's going to be the first time y'all have heard it, and but just sort of take that away from it, that no matter what you do, you can feel alone, you can feel forgotten, especially in a time like this of fear and uncertainty. Just know that God loves you, and he has a plan for all of this.
Life, feeling alone and forgotten. He chases pleasure and fame, 'cause it's the only time he feels something. He hates what he's become, but doesn't have the strength to change his ways. He says he's too far, no one can love him unless he's fake. She lives her life behind a mask and a lifestyle. She thinks if no one can see her pain, then they'll think she is worthwhile. She follows the trends, but always ends up feeling empty. She keeps up the act, but thinks her mistakes make her filthy. But here comes God with his loving, life-changing grace. What he says is different, that God loves even through my mistakes. I am loved by you, God. I am loved by you. Yeah, because of your Son it is done when you died for us. No mistakes from my past, God. No, they cannot last. At the foot of the cross, death is lost. I can come back home. That hill, carrying the cross up to Calvary. Jesus' blood was shed for all of humanity. Sin thought it had won, but God was far in the distance. For 3 days it looked as though Jesus was finished. But the ground started rumbling, that rock started crumbling to God's power. Sin was defeated, and it has no grip on us anymore. Because of the blood, God only sees us as we truly are. And when that day comes, for the Son to return, we'll be welcome. So there goes God with His loving, life-changing grace. What He says is different, that God loves even through my mistakes. I am loved by you, God. I am loved by you. Oh, because of your Son it is done when you died for us. Yeah. No mistakes from my past, yes, God. No, they cannot last. At the foot of the cross, death is lost. I can come back home. At the foot of the cross, death is lost. I can come back home.
Wow, what an incredible song written by Luke. Such an incredible truth also of what he was talking about and singing in that song about how we're all lost without Jesus, but we can come to the foot of the cross where death has lost. When it seemed like, just like in our situation today, it seems like the world is in chaos and things are out of control and what's going to happen next, and there is reason to be concerned. But we know that God is in control, and we know that death has lost, just like what we're going through today has lost, that the enemy can't conquer, the enemy can't win, because Jesus has already won. Our hope is not in what we can do. Our hope is not in what we hope happens next week or the week after that. Our hope is placed in what Jesus Christ has already done. So it doesn't matter what situation we're in. It doesn't matter what circumstance we're going through. Jesus Christ has conquered all. And my prayer is that you will experience that truth, that you will surrender to Jesus and allow Him to have control, that you'll realize that we aren't in control. While we had all these plans to finish out the school year, and those plans went up in smoke, and there's nothing we can do about it. Just like you may have plans for your life, and they may be wonderful plans, but you are not ultimately in control. And when we surrender to the one who is in control, when we allow God to have control of our lives, that's when we experience the freedom from fear, the freedom from worrying about our future, because we know that it is secure in God's hands. And my prayer is that you will experience that you will experience the freedom that comes from living a life surrendered to Jesus Christ, that you will take the next step and allowing Him to define who you are, and not this world, and not the fears, and not your failures or your successes, but that you will allow the one who conquered sin and death to define who you are and determine your future. Please know that we here at Hartfield, we love you guys, and we are here for you. We miss you tremendously, but if there's any way that we can help you, if you need anything at all, I'd ask, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. If we can pray for you, if we can help and talk you through whatever you're going through, we're here for you. We want you to experience all that God has for you, even in the midst of what we're going through, because ultimately our God is in control and our God has conquered.